Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Becca, and if you're new here, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe and click that notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my future uploads, which hopefully going forward are going to be every week instead of every other week, which is what I've been doing for the past 6 months or so. Although I do know it has been 3 weeks since I uploaded the last video, which I'm really sorry about. I hope you guys understand. Things were just crazy with Christmas, and then I went out of town to see family, and then I actually got sick for 5 days. So I'm so sorry it's been a while, but I am so excited to be back today and sharing this information with you guys. And today's video is actually going to be the first in a little series I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks. It'll probably be every other upload, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys my tips and my best steps on how to transition to some different alternative lifestyles. I know you guys might be making some big changes in your life with New Year's resolutions and stuff, so I wanted to get this information to you guys early in the year so you guys will have plenty of resources to help you achieve those different goals. So today's video is actually going to be my top 10 tips and steps on how to go vegan. I decided to start with this one because I've been vegan for about 2.5 years now, so it's kind of the lifestyle I've been living the longest, so I feel pretty experienced talking about this kind of thing, and I'm obviously really passionate about it, so if you guys want to see it, then just keep watching. And it's going to be a little bit chatty of a video, so definitely make sure you guys get a snack or a coffee or something. Okay, so my first step for you guys is to do your research. I think it is so important just to connect with why you want to make this change, why you want to go vegan, especially if you're going to stick with this long term. Something Pickup Limes actually says, I'll link her channel down below of course because I love her, but she actually describes your why as your why power, and I think that's such like a beautiful statement because when you know why, that is what gives you the power to make these changes. And of course, when you're doing your research, there's lots of different ways out there to get it. Of course, lots of people turn to documentaries. There are so many ones that are available on Netflix. There's also podcasts and Instagram. I would say if you are getting information just from like random Instagram accounts, do make sure that they're citing their sources, that they are stating where they got this information from, and then you can turn to those resources and do more research yourself. When you know why you're doing something, it'll be easier for you to communicate about why you're doing that, and that can make the transition a lot easier, especially if your friends and family kind of don't understand it as much as you do when you're starting out. You can help share that with them in a meaningful and healthy way. And then there's even resources about how to talk to people about veganism. And that leads me into my second tip, which is to get inspired. Obviously be careful with information on the internet, but there are so many wonderful like influencers and content creators who are speaking about veganism and related subjects, and it can be wonderful to follow those people. It can give you so many different meal ideas, different restaurant ideas, even different cleaning products and makeup products and clothing companies that are vegan, because veganism is about so many more things than just the food you're eating. That's a great place to start. I actually went vegan with my food first and then kind of brought over my other lifestyle elements as well. With this lifestyle that's growing and becoming more popular, that's actually so wonderful because now there are plenty of people living vegan lifestyles and sharing that on the internet. So there's a really great chance that you're going to be able to find someone who you really connect with, whether they're in college or whether they're doing it on a budget. Those resources are out there, I promise you. That can be really helpful if you're having a harder time, like you can just not cut out cheese. You can turn to the Live Planted podcast, who has an entire episode about cheese. Or maybe you're not sure if you want to buy leather secondhand. You can hear other people's opinions on these things and really help that inform your own opinions and how you want to go about this in your own life. My third tip is to try different things and don't give up if one way or one thing doesn't work for you. So you guys may know I was actually vegetarian for about 6 months before I tried to go vegan, and I decided that I was gonna cut out milk in January, cut out cheese in February, eggs in March, and so on. And for me, that just really didn't work because it got really confusing. Like, oh, am I still having milk powder that's in a candy bar, or only like actual straight cups of milk? Like, it just got really confusing for me. And so then in June, I went to a summer intensive for dance, and the dining hall had vegan options, and I was like, great, I don't have to cook for the next 5 weeks, and so I'm gonna do it now when food is being prepared for me. And that actually worked really well. I had a couple times I did cave. I remember stealing brownies from my roommate, and that was just because I didn't really quite know how to make it work for me yet, which is totally okay. If you try to go gradually and that doesn't work, then maybe try to go cold turkey. And even if that still doesn't work, maybe you're like, okay, I need to scale it back, and for now I'm only gonna do meatless Mondays. Or I'm gonna try it for January, I'm gonna do veganuary, and just start with that. You just have to figure out what works for you, and even that goes beyond how you go vegan, but also like how you are vegan. So, you know, are you gonna cook more? Are you gonna be like a junk food vegan? Just try different things, because like I said, there's some people doing this lifestyle so differently. Even though there are, you know, some clear set rules, outside of those rules it actually can be very flexible, and veganism can be very, very diverse. The fourth one is I would recommend learning how to cook. So I went vegan, I just turned 17 actually, and I didn't have to cook at first, which was really, really useful for me. But when I came back from that intensive, my mom was really helpful, which I'm so, so grateful for, and she really helped teach me how to cook, and I just started trying different recipes, even though I was young, and that's why I didn't really know how to cook. Honestly, if I hadn't gone vegan, I don't know if I would have learned how to cook. I think especially in the United States, people have kind of like a false idea of what's cooking. They just pour something out of a bag and, you know, add milk and butter, and that's really not cooking. And cooking is so wonderful. I think people really will fall in love with it if they give it a chance. It is a lot more cost effective than constantly eating out or buying pre-packaged things, and it also just gives you a new connection to food, which you're already forging a new one because you're starting to think about it maybe a little bit in terms of your health. That is one of the pillars of veganism, but you're also starting to think about what harm it's doing to animals, to other humans, and to the environment. And so when you're already forming this new connection with food, just keep running with that. Learn how to cook it. Learn how to make this like a meaningful part of your day. And once you've learned how, you'll probably develop a few staple meals that can be really helpful, you know, if you're in a pinch, you know, you're short on time, you're like, oh, I know I can make this pasta dish super quick in 20 minutes. And so then in those times when, you know, you're stressed out, you're short on time, you're not gonna cave. You're gonna have this little arsenal that you can turn to. My fifth one is to make sure you are eating enough. Like I said, I did sneak some brownies and I was like constantly eating granola bars. A lot of plant foods do have less calories than the things you might have been eating. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist here, please like do your own research of course, but that is my understanding of that. So you may need to eat a little more, and especially just with the transition period, your body is going to be a little shocked. Like, just because you're eating different foods, it can be shocking. And so give yourself some time, about a month, especially with things like dairy, because those stay in your body for a really long time. That's why it takes longer to beat those cravings. So give yourself time, make sure you're eating enough, try new foods, and make sure you are supplementing with B12. That is like the one vitamin you cannot get from a plant-based diet. Even omnivores are recommended to take B12 a lot of the time. And definitely if you're worried, especially if you have other health issues going on, you can always check with your physician. You can get your blood tested. I actually just had my finger pricked yesterday when I was at the doctor's office because I told them I was vegan. Everything was fine. Don't worry. And you can supplement with more, but B12 is the one you really want to make sure you're getting. Number 6 is to get a buddy or really try to find a community. If you have someone who is doing this with you, it is going to be so much easier to stay accountable, to stay motivated, to stay inspired, because you have someone in real life. Like I said, I think it's so wonderful that there's so many vegans on the internet and it is so helpful, but there is just something different about having someone in real life you can talk to. I'm so lucky, my best friend, my roommate, she's vegan. She's one of the people who inspired me to go vegan, and so we always have each other to talk about, and I have quite a few other friends as well. I'm also part of a club at my school. I'm actually the social media chair of our veg club at VCU, which is super fun. And of course, if you can't find someone in person, really try to build those online communities. Most people would be so delighted if you just DM them with a question. I know personally mine are always open. If you guys have any questions or need someone to talk to, I would absolutely love to help you guys with that. My 7th tip applies a little bit more to the lifestyle side. Well, I mean, the things you eat is part of your lifestyle, but things like clothing, makeup, cleaning products, that kind of thing. And since I am also like a big environmentalist, you know, you don't really have to just throw those things out. Obviously, if they are making you uncomfortable with the things you've learned, you can do that, or you can give them to friends. But really, I would say just use those things up, you know, get your money's worth, use those resources that have been made, and then just every time you have to buy something new, just look it up. I know with makeup, I would always go to the cruelty-free kitty blog when I went cruelty-free with my makeup, which is technically different, but just do a quick Google search on your phone if you have it with you or before you go to the store. Some of my favorite makeup brands are of course Lush. You guys know I love Lush. I also love Pacifica, Elf, Wet n Wild. Those are all available at the drugstore. This can be a budget-friendly lifestyle. And this also applies to clothes. Of course, I would advise against buying leather and wool and things like that, at least new. Personally, I don't have a problem with buying that secondhand because I think that's more environmentally friendly, and I don't think that's supporting those industries and that cruelty directly. So again, there are going to be some kind of gray areas where things aren't so clear. Honey's another big one, and just keep doing your research. It's okay if your opinions change on some things as well. I know mine have, and that's why I said it's so important to just continually be doing your research. Which brings me to my 8th point, I think that's 8, and that is to stay up to date with vegan news. I think a lot of times it can seem, especially in day-to-day life, if you don't have anyone else in your life who's vegan, it can be a little depressing sometimes. You feel like you're not doing enough, or just the whole world isn't doing enough. So I think staying up to date with news, Live Kindly is an absolutely great resource. They post vegan headlines every single day, and then you can go to their website to read the full article about what vegan celebrities are doing, about new products that are coming out, dairy sales have gone down, new documentaries that are coming out, how the Golden Globes served a vegan meal, which is huge, like so many different things. Most of us, I would say, go on social media every single day. I know I do, and I'm assuming my audience does as well. It can be nice to see something positive every single day, and that's gonna, again, inspire you and motivate you to continue doing this in the long term. My 9th tip is to get into activism. This might come a little bit later once you've kind of figured out how it works for you, but again, I think this is another way to continually stay excited about this lifestyle. And even if this is, you know, just starting to share some news on your personal Instagram, if you start going to rallies, maybe you are able to set up a table with your school club at like a veg fest. I know being a part of my veg club at my school has been really, really wonderful, and then starting my YouTube channel and talking about veganism all feels like activism to me. You can also, you know, go volunteer at animal sanctuaries. There's so many things you can do to get involved, and I think once you start to really get passionate about this, it's pretty natural that most people want to start doing even more. They want to help educate others, and obviously just make sure you're going about that in a kind and compassionate way, because vegans do get a bad rep from just the select few who are not doing things in the nice way. So of course, just be nice, be kind, be compassionate. That is what the lifestyle is about. And so you of course want to be showing that to other humans as well. And number 10 is just mindset. Like, let your mindset change. You will probably change in more ways than just what you're eating when you go vegan. For me, I cite going vegan as the best thing I ever did. It opened my eyes to just so many things. Like I said, my compassion to other humans has changed. It got me into the zero waste movement, which then led me into slow fashion, which I'm now interested in minimalism, and just I have changed so much, and it has been so wonderful. And so I think it's just so important that you're learning about how to be kinder, how to be more compassionate, how to be less cruel, how to love, and you have to let those things affect yourself as well. I know it sounds really cheesy, but you know, when you start treating other people and other beings differently, you're hopefully want to treat yourself differently as well. So if, you know, you mess up, if you accidentally forget to read a label, you have to give yourself the compassion as well and know that that's okay. It is okay to mess up. It's not easy for everyone. Some parts are easy, some parts won't be. For me, going vegetarian was really easy, and then I struggled with going vegan, like I said. So just give yourself the grace and the space to figure things out. And yeah, that is all of my tips. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like I've been talking for like 3 hours and it's probably only been like 20 minutes. But yeah, I did want to say thank you guys so much for 230 before the end of 2019. That was so exciting for me. I'm hoping to hit 250 by the end of this month. So if you want to help me out with that, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, turn on the notification bell, do all of those things if you want to support my channel so I can keep making content like this for you guys. And yeah, you can also go follow me on Instagram. It's just at becca.gargiulo. I'm always sharing when I'm cooking, what restaurants I'm eating at, that kind of thing. So if you want some vegan inspiration, definitely go check out my food highlights. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day and a wonderful 2020. Bye guys.